What's up, everybody? It's your INC Radio podcast host, Angelica, and welcome back to another episode of INC Radio Podcast. And you are tuning into none other than the YNZ crew, the Youngins and Gen Z, where we talk about everything under the sun from A to Z. Now, of course, I'm not the only one here. I have with me my atas that are beautiful inside and out. So let's start off with Ate LJ.
Hello, everybody. Yes, it's your Ate LJ all the way here from the heart of Canada, Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Ayan. I wonder who else is here. So if I'm the heart, where is she?
Ay!
Ay, sino kaya yon? Sinong next?
Sino kaya
Who are
siya?
you talking about? I don't know who it is. Anyway, hello everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, or here if we're in Adelaide, good evening. I am, of course, your Aussie Sheila, Ate Chloe, reading in from the local congregation of Adelaide District of Australia West from the INC Radio Australia Satellite Studio, and of course, last but definitely not the least, hello Athena.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, or whatever time it is today sa inyo. This is always my question for everyone. Kumain na ba kayo? Kain na po from Cavite. And of course, it's another episode of INC Radio Podcast. And we're continuing our topic about the growth mindset for this particular season. And for this episode, it's all about girl talk. Pero we're going to dive into some topic that we've chosen for this special episode. And for today, we'll be talking about positive affirmations. But first, let us define, Ate Chloe, what is or what are positive affirmations?
Yes. Okay, so let's go here. Let's go to according to positivepsychology.com in an article written by Catherine Moore, a psychologist. Positive affirmations, she says, are phrases or statements used to challenge negative or unhelpful thoughts.
Ayun. And you know what? Over the years, there's always been a greater awareness towards mental health. And we use positive affirmation itself has become a trend in the health industry, di ba, Angelica?
Yes, and you know what? For us Gen Z and for you as a millennial at the INA, positive affirmation posts are something that we always see online now, and they have a lot of benefits that's, even backed up by psychology.
Positive affirmations, that's something that everyone can make use of, right? Kaya everyone has their own positive affirmations, pero before we share our very own um inspirations, positive affirmations dito sa INC Radio Podcast, let us first hear from our viewers and listeners. So you can also share your positive affirmations, so we can know about your thoughts on this topic. Diba, Angelica?
Yes, that's right. So today we're formally introducing podcast episode question where we'll be asking for the input of our viewers. Now, this is something that we want to see in the live chat, but if you're viewing this episode and you're viewing it after it's already aired, please feel free to email us your answers at podcast@incradio.net. So our question to our lovely audience in the live chat now is, of course, what are your favorite positive affirmations? Now, maybe our viewers are still new to this topic, so actually, before we started recording, we already collected some answers from our lovely listeners. So, here are their answers to our episode question today.
Aloha INC Radio Podcast. My name is Brother Jordan Agustin from Kea'au, District of Hawaii Pacific. And my favorite positive affirmation is everything is figure outable. Or in other words, I can figure out anything life throws at me.
Hi, INCRadio Podcast. I am Sister Kalisha Al Arias from United Arab Emirates. And one of my favorite positive affirmation is, one small positive thought can change your whole day. A little bit positivity can start your day going in the right direction. Have a lovely day, everyone.
Hi, INC Radio Podcast. I am Sahara May A. Dumangas from Quezon City, Philippines. And one of my favorite positive affirmations is that there is no problem that we cannot conquer as long as God is by our side. Given that, we should not make praying to God as our last resort, because above all, He is the most powerful and the only one who can help us. Have a good day.
Okay, so what are your thoughts, guys, on our audience's answers? Honestly, I was surprised. I really like these
Yeah.
positive affirmations. It's not something that, it's not the ones that you always find on the internet.
And also
Yeah.
like they're like very relatable, diba?
Mm.
Right.
I think that's a running theme with our episode today is that we might not find these quotes like the usual ones we might see on social media because they're so personalized to all of our brethren, all of our audiences and
Mm-hmm.
viewers as well. And of course, shout out to the brethren who sent in their videos. Thank you so much.
Yes,
And
thank
shout
you
out
so
to you.
much.
But
And guys, they kept it short, pero
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
the thought is there. Talaga, 'di ba?
Yeah.
It's just a few seconds for each brethren who shared their positive affirmations,
Yeah.
pero it's very powerful as it is. So
Yeah, like you can tell
thank you
that
so
it's
much.
important to them and it's
Mm,
repeatable. They can say it to them all the time. So I'm
yeah.
pretty sure we all have our positive affirmations just like that, which we'll be talking a little bit more about later, right? At the end.
Yeah, pero syempre, before we start sharing our own positive affirmations, meron tayong quick look back dun sa naging first episode ng season natin this year. So, 'di ba?
Oh
If
no.
anyone remembers, of course, I know maraming nakakaalala because we got a lot of views, a lot of love from our viewers and listeners.
Mm-hmm.
So, we shared our habits that we wanted to develop this year.
Mm-hmm.
So, at this time, magkakaroon tayo ng discussion related dun sa ginawa nating first episode for this season. So, ano ba yung gagawin natin, mechanics natin dito sa ating question or icebreaker?
Okay, we are going to play one positive habit and one
Mm.
goal. So each host is going to share one habit that they have already developed and then one goal that they are planning to, reach. But
Mm.
the trick is, since we are doing positive affirmations, we have to phrase our goals as if we've already accomplished them. And then our panelists here will guess which one is their habit and then which one is their goal. So, who's going to start us
Mm.
off? At the Chloe, do you want to go first?
Oh, okay. So let's give like a really easy example that like even our audience knows sort of how this game is going to go. So one positive habit that I'm already doing and one goal. Okay, guess which one? So the first one, I have been I have been actually quite successful in planning my everyday schedule. I've been journaling, well, technically journaling slash planning every day the night before. And I've done that consistently for 2 weeks already. Or two, I have been able to get my daily steps, 10,000 steps every day since the last episode. So, what do you think?
Mm.
1,000 steps?
I
Goal
think
yung
the
10,
steps.
steps.
10,000 steps.
Yeah, definitely goal yung
That
steps.
Yeah.
goal is your steps.
No, I
Right?
think that's one thing that she did.
Oh, you think that's the habit? What's the answer at the
Yeah.
Chloe?
Yeah, the 10,000 steps is my goal. However, it's a
Ah.
bit it's a bit tricky because technically
Mm.
I have accomplished it the past week because I did start uni this week. I've been
Mhm.
walking around, I have been reaching my 10,000 steps. However, the thing that wasn't entirely true is that I've done my 10,000 steps since the last episode. So, it was a bit of wordplay, but I've been doing both. But one is
Okay.
just less of a habit. But I have been doing my daily journaling for the
Mhm.
past 2 weeks.
Mm.
So I'm proud of that. But I need to get
That's
my steps
nice.
done.
Congratulations, Chloe.
It's been a week
Yeah,
going
Mm.
strong. It's 10,000 steps watch 2023. So let's see how long I can keep this going for.
you got
How
it. You
about
definitely got it
yeah? Who's next at the LJ?
at the LJ.
Okay, so you guys already know how bad I am at these games. Hindi ako marunong sa sa mga wordplay katulad ni Chloe. Pero yung akin kasi night owl talaga ako. So, ang nagagawa ko na ngayon everyday maaga na ako nagigising. Like 6 a.m. nagigising na ako. Tapos yung isa is every other day nakakapag-gym na ako ngayon. Oh, ayan. So
Oh,
which one?
definitely the gym one. I
Yung
think
gym yung
that's
goal.
Huh?
Yung gym yung goal.
Yeah.
Feel ko lang. Kasi, we already see all of your, the stuff you send in the group chat. Pero hindi
Yeah, I
araw-araw
was like
yun.
trying to rewind. I was like, what time did she wake up?
Yeah.
And now I have to
You and-
convert that into Winnipeg time.
Yeah.
Hindi you know what?
Di ba you guys stopped for like 2 weeks, you and Christian?
Yeah.
Going to the gym?
You both
At least
stopped
you
at the
guys
same
started.
time.
Okay lang.
We started. Hindi
You guys
kasi
started together. But I think
Pero-
he's continuing, di ba?
yeah. Kasi
Yeah.
nga yung minsan, di ba, pag nagiging busy talaga, as
I
in,
know, you're not
Mm.
able to make time
yung
for it.
gym that I go to is like, hindi siya open late at night. So, and
Oh.
also, syempre, I don't really feel too safe to go really late at night, di ba? So, pero yeah, you got it right. The goal is to go to the gym every other day. Tapos, yung habit that I'm working on is waking up early. Talagang hindi talaga ako morning person. Tsaka alam niyo,
But
kasi
you've been able to wake up naman.
I'm able to wake up
That's
early, but
good.
it's just that it's a real battle to get up in the morning like really early. Like I want to learn how to, wake up earlier. I know some people go to the gym at like 5 in the morning, and I was like,
Yeah.
One step at a time.
like I want to try because they said like yung energy mo talaga magpi-peak, and it's a good way to start your day, like physical activity. Pero ayun nga, hindi ko talaga siya kaya. So we're gonna make that a good habit that we'll work on for 2023. Ayan.
Mm.
Ikaw naman, Ate
I'm so
Ina.
excited for you. You got that.
Thank you.
You
Yeah.
got it. You got it.
Cheer me on, guys.
You got this.
Well, for me, actually, parang dalawa lang yung natatandaan kong habit na share ko for the past episode. So, the first one is, yun nga, I have made a proper schedule or calendar, and I'm actually following it. The second one is, um, I am on my way to achieving my financial goals or the savings that I wanted to have every month. Yan. Which one is the goal and which one is the habit that I'm actually doing already?
Feeling ko yung
Just stop.
I think Ate Ina gave it
Hard.
away.
Ang hirap. Ang
I
hirap.
was thinking about it really hard. I was like, wait, I think she gave
Mm.
the entire answer.
Yeah, so the first one is the
The
habit.
first one is
Yeah,
the
yeah, the
habit.
first one. The first one is yun yung yun yung currently ginagawa ko na. So, it's not strictly na na-plot ko lahat sa
Mm.
calendar, pero in my head, alam ko na ito yung gagawin ko for the day. Like for 8
Mm.
for example, for 8 p.m. I have this 9, 10 ganyan. And then when it's about time na meron ng susunod na sked na parang ops. Ito na, next sked na, yan. So, I'm actually proud of myself na nagagawa ko na siya. Kasi nga, di ba, we have a lot of responsibilities and tasks and duties sa iba't ibang aspeto ng buhay natin. So, we
Yeah.
really have to balance it. Yun. So, ayun. May times pa rin na mental notes sa hindi lahat nakaplot sa
Yeah.
calendar. Pero yun, I'm actually following a schedule na. So,
Like most of your
That's
day is in the calendar.
good.
yeah. And yun nga lang, ang medyo downside is sometimes pinaplano ko na mag-overtime for the day. Something like I can actually do when I was younger na I can pull off a lot of all-nighters talaga as in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pero when you reach a certain age,
Totoo,
promise,
ate.
makakatulog
Yeah,
ka na
you're
lang
right.
talaga.
Your body's not the same na talaga
Yeah.
as you get
Yeah.
older.
I feel that. Like,
Yeah.
Even
um,
when you
Diba?
transition from high school to college,
Mm-mm.
it's like
Mm.
a lot of people my age, and even me personally, I'm like wondering, I have like two classes in one day and I feel
Mm.
exhausted. How did I
You're tired
have
after that,
like
right?
how did I have
Yeah,
7 classes just a few months
before.
ago?
Yeah,
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 Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
it's
Pero the
insane.
good side is, hindi mo inaabuso yung sarili mo. Like,
Mhm.
Mm,
you're giving yourself the rest that you need. And
yeah.
then, as you go naman then, actually, you wake up earlier din naman when you age. Actually, ha.
Mhm.
Kaya, di ba,
Mm.
the older people, they're mostly awake for like 5 a.m. or earlier
Yeah,
Yeah,
even.
and
we've
that's like
Di
normal
mentioned.
ba?
already.
So,
Yeah.
parang nag-iiba yung body clock natin. So, it's
Yeah.
somewhat,
Mm,
uh, it's somewhat better kasi at least, iba pa rin yung sleep sa gabi talaga eh. So, yun.
Yeah.
So,
mm,
that's what I'm thankful for na yun yung natutupad ko. And yun nga, in the other side, I'm working on it. I just wanted to share some good things na nangyari sa akin financially. Although, hindi ko pa na-achieve talaga yung very consistent na target sa monetary aspect. Pero, grabe, sobrang parang, I feel so proud of myself na, yung moment na binabayaran mo yung bills mo, tapos, yung moment na, um, ang tawag dito, kasi this year, I opened my own bank account. Something that
mm,
I've been targeting for a
Yeah.
few years na. Kasi there's, 'di ba, there's this maintaining balance na medyo mataas for a savings
Mhm.
account. So I
Yeah.
finally did it this year. Yun. And then, yun na lang. It's just a matter of adding up more savings doon. And then paying for the bills and whatever. And then saving up. Tapos talagang naglalakad na ako ngayon more walks para mas makatipid. So yun. So hopefully
Dream
mapagpatuloy
takeout
pa.
from
You're on
ate.
the way, Ate. You get
Hmm?
it, like
so
you're
much
on the
adulting,
way.
ate.
Yeah,
A
sobrang
lot of
refreshing nga
adulting.
nitong ano. Actually, it was quite hard. Mahirap talaga magsimula and to sustain
Mhm.
it for the next few days or few weeks. Pero once you push yourself talaga, kasi
Mhm.
I read it somewhere, parang it takes, I'm not sure if it's 21 days or 27 days to form a habit.
Mhm.
Like, and
Something
then
along
to,
those.
yeah, something along those numbers. Tapos parang, as you go dun sa day na yon na magiging habit mo na siya, it gets really, really harder. Pero
Mhm.
once you're there, na-reach mo na yung momentum, ayun na, nano ka na.
It just
Mas
keeps going.
madali na siya. Yeah,
Yeah.
you just keep on going. So, yun. Pero syempre si
Mm.
Angelica. Ano kaya yung kay Angelica?
So honestly, there's this prayer that I've always had. I always pray to
Mm.
God. I hope that, I can rest more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kaya lang, anong nangyayari sa schedule ko, it just keeps getting heavier and heavier. Every single year, I get busier and busier. And so, especially as a student, you're trying to form these habits where it's just like you have good grip of your schedule.
Yeah.
And so, when I
Mm.
used to think about it, I used to be like, how come I feel like I'm not getting any better? Sometimes I still procrastinate. Sometimes I feel
Mhm.
like I'm still not able to give a test or assignment my very best.
Yeah.
And so I've been trying to really get a grip of my schedule because there's just so much going on and so much to keep track of.
Mhm.
But even though there's still like there's so much that I have to do now, for some reason, I worry a lot less now. I worry
Oh,
a
that's
lot less.
That's
nice.
so
Um,
wholesome.
and
Mm,
I've been
yeah.
learning to be more positive. It's like my
Mhm.
schedule's getting harder and what I'm going through is getting harder, but for some reason, I'm not as stressed out as I used to be when it comes to like doing things. I kind of like view things as, I will just try my best, but I will forgive myself if it's not, if it doesn't turn out the
The way you want
how I
it.
want it. Yeah, how I
Yeah.
want it.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then another thing is this whole entire year hindi pa ako nagbabaon ng lunch. I always, because of my schedule, I finish class like literally around lunchtime. So it's either I just go home, or I eat if I'm gonna stay on campus. So I've been eating healthier. So which one is my habit and which
Mm.
one is my goal?
Feeling ko yung um yung goal is the first one, the habit is the second one.
I
Kasi
think
the rest
my
is
I think my wholesome mind is like I really like the first one is the habit. The
Yeah,
second one is the
I think
Oh,
so too.
The
Akala ko
first
nga
one
topic discussion na tayo eh.
the the first one actually is ano, is my habit. I already do that,
see.
yeah. Because
Oh!
I think that, God has been giving me a lot of responsibilities, but even though it's a lot and it's overwhelming, it's been
uh-huh.
really helping me grow a lot. And it's
Hmm.
like, so now I'm in, like, I feel like spiritually I'm maturing a lot where I'm entrusting more of what, like, my worries to God. So I'm worrying less even though
Mhm.
I have so much more. Cause like sometimes you just hit a point where it's just like, I know I really like can't handle this. So you just gotta leave
Hmm.
it to God at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's where you truly learn. You
Yeah.
truly
exactly.
learn like what it really means to rely on God for these kinds of things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move on to our
Hmm.
topic discussion now that we're having a wholesome conversation. I want to hear you guys and your wholesome thoughts as well. What are some positive affirmations that you have set for yourself? So maybe like one or two or more if you guys have. So at the LJ, what are some positive affirmations that you have?
Yeah. So for mine, I know I always say this is a bit of it's cliche to say, diba? But one of the positive affirmations that I have for myself is I always tell myself that I am beautiful. See, it
Yes,
makes
You
that's
Wow,
so
are.
good.
you
it makes
You
me
are.
giggle when
are.
you say that because like I know I often because we have a friend group chat that we have, right? So there are days where you truly do feel ugly, like when I look in the mirror I'm like, why do we look like this today?
Yeah.
But otherwise, you know what, like it's just one of those cliche things that when you say it out loud it really does feel cliche because it's like bakit mo naman sasabihin yun? You know what I mean? So it's just like
Mhm.
it's I've always said this too that yourself is your biggest enemy. So it's just like you have this ongoing battle of like when you say that to yourself, it's like, are you sure? Like you're already doubting it right away. But
Hmm.
yeah,
Mhm.
there's just days where I don't feel beautiful, so you just have to say it out loud sometimes. Like I am beautiful. Like this is me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
love that. No, I really love that.
I think
Cause
it's also perspective too. It's just like you're saying that
yeah.
as you see yourself in the mirror. I know this is something that I pointed out before, but you don't see like the different angles of yourself, like how you
Hmm.
look when you're happy, how
Yeah,
you look when you're excited about something. There are different types of beauty that we don't see,
yeah.
you know,
'Di ba
'cause
nga sabi nila minsan like, oh, you're glowing today. Like kind of like today when we were seeing Ate Chloe, she's like, you're glowing today. Like
No, it's just the selfie
Yes.
light. It's hiding the fact that it's like 2:30 in the morning. It's doing a lot.
yeah, but yeah, so it's like like I agree with Ate Angelica saying that yeah, we don't see ourselves in a different point of view because we're it's just hard that way, and we just never
Hmm.
know what we look like. Yeah, when we're laughing and we're happy, or when we're glowing.
Hmm.
Diba?
Like you're always going at that.
Well,
Well,
tama na.
every day,
Every day,
every day.
kahit we
all
woke
day,
up
every
like this,
day.
you know.
I woke up like this.
Ate, how about you, Ate? What are your positive affirmations?
Yeah. Um, Ito yung favorite kong positive affirmation, 'no? Kasi all this while kasi there are lots of expectations ng mga tao sa atin. That's, something na, common sa mga sabihin na natin na parang achiever at some point of their life, 'di ba? So, there was a time na parang dina-doubt ko na rin yung sarili ko na nami-meet ko ba yung expectations ng ibang tao, at the same time expectations ko rin sa sarili ko. 'Di ba, there is this question din na yung parang, "Am I worth it or what?" Ganyan. So, ako naman, my positive affirmation para i-counter yun is like, I will be worth it. Ibig sabihin, it's like a reminder to myself na to work on everything that I have para maging worth it ako. Not
Mm-hmm.
just for other people, pero pati sa akin, sa sarili
Yeah.
ko na um, I will prove myself not just to them but also to myself that I can do this, I can do
Mm-hmm.
that. I can be who I wanted to be. I can do
Mhm.
what I want to do. So, I will be worth it. Sa lahat ng nangyayari sa buhay ko, sa lahat ng ginagawa ko, worth it ako. So, yun. I
Mhm.
will be worth it. Kasi
Yeah.
pagka sinabi kasing I will be worth it, 'di ba parang future tense if I'm not mistaken. So,
Mhm.
Mhm.
it's always something na uh, I wanted to achieve. Yun, kaya
Yeah.
I will
And
be
it
worth it.
you become more hopeful to it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
You're not just stagnant, you're not just stuck on like what you're feeling right now. Because sometimes we just don't feel good. And
Mhm.
so,
Exactly.
Mm.
if we're hoping for something in the future, that'll give us more motivation to keep going,
Yeah.
you
Mm.
know?
Exactly.
And I think that, you are the most permanent person in your life. A
Yeah.
lot of people will come and go, but you're the most permanent one. So you should be your biggest supporter. And
Yeah,
I
like
think with
what the
that,
LJ said,
yeah,
you've only got you and you.
Like at the
Hi.
end of the day, like I said this before, how at the end of the
Mhm.
day, it'll just be you and I. Like it's just
Yeah.
It'll be stuck
You're
in the mirror,
I
just
love
stuck.
you and
that.
I.
yeah, like there's no one else at the end of the day that
Exactly.
so you just gotta pull it together sometimes. And I love what Atina said about how, being worth it. Like,
Mhm.
everything that will come to you, like, you can think of it as a sense that, oh, you deserve whatever that's
Yeah,
Mm.
kind of like not
Yeah.
shrinking yourself when it
hmm
comes to your accomplishments and also reminding yourself that you are capable of achieving the things that you want to achieve.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm.
Go with the
How
flow.
about Chloe?
Oh,
Chloe.
I have a lot.
Mm.
Let's go through one, and then what I'll do, I'll spread them out throughout the other questions that we have.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
first one that I always say is, if anyone can do it, it's you. Look at myself in the mirror. If I have like 10 things to do, I'm going to look at myself and I'm going to say to myself, if anyone can do it, it's you.
hmm
Because you don't
Mm.
have a choice.
You don't have a
That's
choice.
like the
Because it's just
following.
You're
you and
That's
not.
the
I.
prologue. And, like, you don't have a choice, so you just do it. No, I think it's a way for me to hype myself up.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Something like related to what we were talking about before with at the Inna's positive affirmation is that I tend to have very bad imposter syndrome. I tend to think that I
Mm.
don't
Mm,
deserve certain things, or that I am not capable of doing certain things or doing certain activities, but that's not true at all. Even for our audience, like,
Mm.
even if you think you're not capable of doing something, you will always surprise yourself. Like,
Yeah.
for
hmm
example, we never thought that we'd do a podcast, and now look,
Yeah.
here we are.
Yeah.
You know?
right,
Totoo
So
right.
if
yan.
anyone can do it, it really is
Mm.
you. I think
Yeah.
it's a way to get yourself to just have enough courage to just, like
hmm
our
Do it.
very first episode, take the first step.
Yeah.
Just referencing everything.
And I think like
Um
it also comes with having confidence too. And sometimes the biggest struggle is to have confidence in the first place in yourself.
hmm
And for
Yeah.
me, it's just like if I'm not going to have confidence in myself, at least I can have confidence in God and what He can do through me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or just like
Yes.
even if you feel like you're not capable, just trust that God will help you to be able to have the skills that you need to
hmm
achieve the things that you want to.
exactly. And when has he not? Never.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's always proved time and time again that, he'll always take care of it. That's where
Yeah.
we get our confidence from, essentially. How about you, Angelica?
So for me, I think that even in this year alone, I've already experienced so much. So my
Only
positive
March.
We're
affirmation.
10
Yeah,
weeks
I know
in.
it's only March and it's
Yeah.
only been 10 weeks, but so much has happened already. Like so
Mhm.
much and so little all at the same time. But so my positive affirmation is I am strong and resilient because I allow myself to heal and grow. So, what I wanted to do with my positive affirmation is kind of like not set myself to view my life as if it has to be perfect all the time. Because
Mhm.
when you think of your life and you
Mm.
think that everything has to be perfect and go the way you want it to, then
Yeah.
you're gonna be disappointed and you're gonna have
Yes.
moments where you're gonna be sad because it's not going the way that you want it to.
Yeah.
But if you allow things to
And you'll
just
be
happen,
stressed.
yeah, and just trust that what's meant for you will come to you,
Mm.
you'll be
Mhm.
able to heal and grow even in the moments when life doesn't go as planned.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually really good at Angelica. It's actually naalala ko yung yung post ni Jaycon where he asked uh I'm not sure if it's for Wow
Feeling ko
with Bob
nag-comment
or
ako dun.
yeah, nag-comment din ako doon.
Nag-comment ako dun.
Hello,
What was it?
Jaycon.
What was it? What was it?
If you're
Nakalimutan ko yung
watching.
post. Ano ba yung
Yeah,
post niya?
nalimutan ko rin yung pinaka-question pero
Wait,
it's
back.
related dun sa sinabi mo na
Hmm.
'di ba, how do you relieve yourself from any disappointment that
Mm,
will come into your way? Kasi nga
Mm.
hindi naman lahat aayon sa plans natin or sa
Right.
expectations natin. Pero when you reduce your expectations or parang 'pag nirelax mo lang yung sarili mo na hindi ka nagpaapekto masyado dun sa outcome, 'di
mhm,
ba? When you care less about some things that are beyond your control, talagang
mhm.
mas nakakagaan siya ng pakiramdam. And yun nga 'di ba, if some things don't go your way, merong dahilan kung bakit nangyari yun.
Bakit
Right,
nga?
right. Like
Exactly.
it's normal to accept that, life
Yeah.
it's normal to have goals. It's okay to have
Yes.
goals and be ambitious
Mm.
and, strive
Yeah.
to achieve the things that you want to, but
Yeah.
also accept redirection.
Mhm.
Mm.
Your future isn't always the way you envision it, but you have to trust that your future is for you and for your
Yeah.
benefit.
And
So you just
everything
have
will
to,
always
Yes.
turn out for the better.
yeah,
Yeah.
For
Mm.
the good
exactly.
result.
Exactly.
Y and yung mga sinabi natin as it is, mga positive affirmations na rin siya
Yeah, it is,
actually.
it is. So, specifically in your life, guys, what role do
Mm.
you think positive affirmations what role does the use of positive affirmations play? And then if you're using those positive affirmations, have you guys seen any changes in your mentality ever since you started?
Yes, actually sa'kin, personal experience, yun nga, when I started to care less about, um, some other things, like, if
Mhm.
it's not about, um, my own self, yung mga minor things in the background and the environment, ganyan, I don't stress myself so much dun sa mga bagay na yun. And then I tell myself na eto, medyo cliche siya pakinggan, madalas na ring napapakinggan ng iba, the positive affirmation na parang, "Every day is a brand new day." So,
Mhm.
maganda siyang positive affirmation kasi it's like giving yourself hope every day na you can always start anew. Now,
Yeah.
whatever
Clean
happened
slate.
today, if it's bad, it ends today, and then you have tomorrow to make up for it and
Yeah.
Mhm.
make everything better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yun yung parang ano every day is a restart, a
Mhm.
reset.
Mhm.
Kaya parang refreshing siya na hindi ka mawawalan ng pag-asa every day. Kasi yun naman talaga yung binibigay sa atin ng Ama, na every moment that we have, every time we wake up, it's a chance for us para magpatuloy. It's a chance na gumawa pa. So, 'di ba, whatever happened in the past or whatever bad thing that has happened, lilipas 'yan. So, yun yung naging mentality ko when I practice this positive affirmation na yun, yung na-mention ko. And nakakagaan siya, yun nga, it's good for your mental health, it's good for your entire well-being and yung
Mhm.
um, sabihin na natin yung pag-iisip mo and yung outlook mo sa buhay. Kasi nagiging mas forward thinker ka or parang mas nilulook forward mo kung ano pa yung magagawa mo kaysa yung mag-dwell ka sa bagay na hindi magandang nangyayari. So yun, that's my yun yung positive effect niya sa akin na
Yeah.
talagang
Mhm.
Like
na-experience ko.
it's a good way to like prevent sort of the pessimism that we
Yeah.
always sort of
Mm.
experience
Exactly.
na
Yeah.
it's always around us na hindi tayo mai-influence ng masyado na
Mhm.
like everything around us seems like palaging pessimistic, palaging
Mm.
negative. At least having positive affirmations will always like at least there's something positive there
Yeah.
Mhm.
na we're not always going to be dragged down kasi
Yeah.
if we
Mm.
get dragged down every single day it's just going to not make our days any better. And that
Yes,
sort of
yes.
leads it to my own like to the role that positive affirmations have for me is that I tend to be very overwhelmed. I tend to like panic whenever I feel that I am not in control of a certain situation. I start to go into panic mode and I start to get really anxious. And so that comes in one of my affirmations, which is at
Mm.
your own pace. Um, that I don't need to rush, take everything one step at a time.
Mhm.
And I think that allows my brain to reset from being
Mm.
overwhelmed. um it's just a way for me to like calm my brain down. Usually, um what I experience is that when I'm not calm or when I'm feeling overwhelmed or stressed, nothing good really happens.
Yeah.
I end up not
Yeah.
being productive. I end up not being like
You
clear
kind of
in
drown in like that whole thought,
exactly.
right? It
Like I'm
doesn't.
digging myself a hole and I'm purposefully just digging myself a deeper hole.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Mm.
I think just reassuring myself that keeping everything at my own pace is
Mhm.
perfectly fine and that I'll
Mm.
get all the work that I need to do fine. There's no need to compare and there's no need to react so strongly. It allows me to react calmly to everything. Allows
Yeah.
me, even if that means that I'm going to cry about it for 5 minutes, then I'll cry about it for 5 minutes, and
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 then
then
then you're
after that,
done.
on.
I'll be okay, and
Okay.
Yeah.
we can
This
solve
reminds
everything. It's
me.
fine.
This
Mm.
reminds me of our talk the other day where I was feeling sad and like how you were saying
Mm,
Oh yeah, and everyone
yeah.
was like, "It's okay."
I was feeling so sad the other day because it just felt like um my day was sort of just stagnant and like nothing was
Mhm.
happening. So I just
Mm.
felt like this is like I don't feel happy like where I am. And like I know Chloe was oh
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going, keep going.
Chloe was really saying that, like um you don't have to compare yourself to others and how their pace.
Mm.
So it just really reminded me of our talk the other day, when I felt sad. But yeah, and then like you were talking about how, like when you overstimulate yourself, Chloe, like what were you
Mm.
saying in that message? But she made a really good point about how when you overstimulate yourself, you just have to kind of how did you word it?
Oh no, that
How
was
did
Let me
you
see
another
the
word
thing
text
it?
message.
in
Let's
in
scroll up now.
biology
Let me scroll up
with
to the message.
There was like a biology explanation to that, and I
yeah,
was just
Yeah,
like,
with
there
neurons,
was.
what
There really
happens
was.
is our neurons contain channels for neurotransmitters and chemicals to come in, and that allows us to react. Now, if we keep those channels open, what's going to happen is there's always going to be a continuous inflow of these chemicals that your body just stops working. Like that's just
Ah,
what your
okay.
Yeah,
body thinks is normal.
yeah,
Now, it means that like if we put it into life, if everything just keeps coming your way, you're always going to be seeking change. You're always going to be seeking something new. And when there isn't something new, that's when you start to panic. However, if we sort of
Mm.
change our perspective a little bit, if we close those channels and we just let ourselves rest for maybe a day or two, no change, everything is just as normal as every day.
yeah,
It resets our brain. It makes us more calmer for the next changes that are about to happen.
yeah,
Because we never know what's going to happen. What if it's another
yeah.
I
big change?
I think it's also because we're all such busy people, so when we're not
Yeah.
doing anything, it's like we're like, "Are we supposed
It
to be
feels
doing something
wrong.
right
We're
now?"
like,
I
Yeah.
straight up
am
There's
I
feel
something
something.
wrong.
Very
overcommitting?
wrong.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think that's what happened without the LJ. It's just like, we have to remember that although we have busy days, we need slow days to
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
recharge too, and we
And
have
I'm
to
also the same person who keeps telling Angelica, you need
to
to
rest.
sleep.
It's like we don't take our own advice. We're like all giving each other advice, but we don't take our own advice.
We don't take our own advice. But yeah, no, because I totally agree. I
Yeah.
think those were just, yeah, because that day I was just literally like with work, I was less busy. Like I was just doing office work. So I wasn't actually like assisting my dentist. It wasn't like my full pack schedule where I'm like go, 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 go. It was just more of like, I went to work, did something, and it was really, really slow. Like the day was just really slow. Came home,
Mhm.
like took a nap, and it was just like, and then now what? Like I just didn't
Yeah.
have anything on my list. So it was just like it just felt very odd and like weird.
But I think from like an outer perspective, if you're looking at your schedule, it's like, and you had a slow day, you would think that you would be happy over having a slow
Yeah.
And it
day.
wasn't. It was like I
Yeah,
could have done this, this, and this in between this
exactly.
and this. You know what
I
I
think
mean?
I think it's just with our generation too. It's just like we have the tendency to feel like we need to be productive all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And then when
always
you're
go,
not
go, go.
productive, you feel empty. And I think that leads us into my positive affirmations. One of my positive affirmations is that to remember that my life is happening for me, not to me. So even the
I
Mm.
slow
love this
days,
call. I love it. The first time you
Yeah.
said this, I
yeah.
resonated with it so
So
much.
even the slow days are also for you. Days of rest are also for you. So that's how I could tie it in with your situation. But in terms of my situation, I actually don't really say positive affirmations like in front of the mirror kasi wala kami masyadong salamin sa bahay.
You turn on your phone, the camera app, put it on a selfie
People,
mode.
No, but I'm being dead serious. We don't have a lot of mirrors in the house. I think we have
or
like
Why
like
though?
your reflection on
wala
your laptop
lang.
screen.
Wala lang.
Wala
On the
lang.
shower, on the shower screen, you see yourself.
No, but the only mirror in my house is like my
The
mom's
bathroom
makeup
mirror.
mirror and then the bathroom mirror. That's it. And so when I'm getting ready, sometimes I sit here like in front of my laptop or I'll go to the bathroom to get ready because we don't have a lot of mirrors. But anyway,
You know, that can be a trivia to our viewers and listeners. How many mirrors are there in
In it,
Angelica's home?
oh, in my house?
next episode, guys, watch out.
If you
Baka
get
ito
it
naman
right,
namin.
you get a free
Okay.
merch. I don't
So right now, like this might be one of our future questions for our merch release in the future. So the answer, guys, is two.
It's
Remember,
true.
two. Jot it down.
Like,
Jot it down. Jot it
It's
down
one
next to
per
your positive
floor.
affirm.
There's one in the ground floor. You go up the
No, but
stairs.
that's for real. That's actually true. My mom's makeup mirror is downstairs and the bathroom is upstairs. So it's one per floor. So dalawa talaga, guys.
This is
Jot it
hilarious.
down. So write your positive affirmations and then in parentheses put two. So that way you guys
Do you
remember.
remember?
Put two
you
mirrors. Two
correlate
mirrors.
together.
You remember which episode this is from. But anyway, so I write it down in my journal because that's where I put all of my tasks, all of my assignments. So I remember whenever I'm feeling unmotivated or overwhelmed, I remember, okay, whatever I'm doing is for me. The stuff I do for church is, to help, the church and also to perform my duties to God. That's something for my faith. Or if I'm doing something for school, I remember this is for my future. Or if something goes wrong, then I remember, oh, this is a learning point. Just viewing life every single time as a growing thing, whatever I'm experiencing. And that way I'm more motivated and I'm not like too overwhelmed or too sad
Yeah.
about, the other things that are happening. I just remember that this is for my growth and for the benefit of
Mm,
my future.
Yeah.
How about you, Ate
that's so
LJ?
nice.
Ikaw ba ata hindi nag-share? Ano ba? How
Oh
many mirrors do you have
nga.
in your house?
Huh?
How
How
many
many mirrors do
mirrors
you have?
are there in your
I really
house?
have two.
You also
I
have
really,
two?
yeah, just
Dalawa lang?
two. One in the bathroom and then one in my parents' room. Actually, I go to my parents' room to kind of do my little, well, I'm beautiful, and like, close
Ah,
the door.
dun yun.
Yeah.
So what
I
about the
could just
bathroom mirror?
imagine your parents are
So,
sleeping and they
yeah,
hear their alarm
I'm
clock and see
beautiful.
you saying, I'm beautiful.
So, trivia
It's
number
just
They're
you
two.
like they're like,
only.
"Sino yung kinakausap mo? Kanina ka pa
Ano?
nagtatandaan
Kami
niyo."
lang dalawa.
Me and myself. Dalawa lang.
Trivia
No,
number
kasi
two. Aling mirror sa bahay nila LJ niya sinasabi yung ano,
I'm
I
beautiful.
am beautiful.
No, kasi yun, full body mirror siya. So, nakikita ko
Ah,
Oh.
wow. Laki naman.
minsan pag fashion show ka, sabi mo, bagay ba to? Hindi. Magpalit tayo ulit.
So you're like in and out of your parents' bathroom? Ganun.
Anyways, for mine,
Mm.
speaking of growth, kasi nga Angelica was talking about growth, and actually one of my other positive affirmations is there is always room for growth. So
Mm.
that also ties into that day when I was feeling sad because I was like, this doesn't feel like I'm going anywhere and I'm not growing. But yun nga, I think it was such a nice reminder that that even though on our slow days there could still be room for growth. And one of the ways that that positive affirmations has also benefited me like mentally and emotionally is yun nga like sometimes when I'm about to do some work I would sit in my laptop here before I get started, before I do anything, and I was like, I can do this, I can do this. Like, like there are times where I would start my positive affirmation in a really, actually not in a positive way. Let me just put that out there. So
Mm.
there's like a thought process where I go to where it's like, say I'm about to do some work, and I'm like, oh man, this is really hard. Like, where am I even gonna start? Like, what am I even doing? Like, am I starting this right? But then right after, there's just a switch in my head where it's like, no, 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 no. Like, I can do this. No, we can do this.
Yeah.
We can do this. This is how I'm gonna start it, and this is how it's gonna go. So that's sort of how I do my positive affirmations. So I always started off as if I'm doubting myself, and then there's just always just a switch in my brain where it's just like, no, no, like we're gonna take a step back, and we can actually do this. So that's some of the ways where I kind of get my positive affirmation to kind of just start rolling, I guess.
Yeah.
And it helped me mentally because it's more of like yun nga, at the end of the day, you only have yourself, and it's just like sometimes we doubt ourselves so much that we can't get out of it, and the only way is just to really just say it out loud, say your positive affirmations out loud, because sometimes if you're only reading about it, yeah, you're taking it all in, but are you really taking it all in?
Mm.
So, I think saying it out loud and looking at yourself and be truthful and just say, we can do this, and it's don't compare yourself to anybody else. And then yeah, it goes back to when I was saying that, those days where you just don't feel beautiful, you don't feel like you feel ugly, and like you would look at posts on social medias and everything like around us also influence
Mm.
how we look at our positive affirmations, right? So,
It really helps, no, pag sinasabi mo siya aloud sa
yeah.
sarili mo.
Yeah, but I think with Ate LJ, since you're starting off like with a negative thought, and also since
Mm.
sometimes negativity can be inevitable, sometimes it really just
Mhm.
happens
Mm.
when we're approaching something in a negative way. But I think that with you starting from negativity and then using your positive affirmations, it's already teaching you how to change your negative thoughts into
It's a
positive
positive
thoughts.
one.
So
Yeah.
it's just like something. It's honestly a skill too. Just how do you
Yeah.
Mm.
overcome negativity? It's through positive
Yeah.
affirmation.
Before I couldn't. Like there'd be a point where I'd be starting to do some work or like say homework, and I'm just like, I can't do this. Like I don't even know where to start. And like I just can't find like a spark. Like I just can't
Mm.
Mhm.
get over it. I was like, how do I even start? And like I'd try to look for inspiration. It just wouldn't work. But I think, now that as we're kind of maturing,
Yeah.
our age, it's different now. It's different the way we look at life. It's different like our work ethic is just a lot more different now.
Mm.
When I didn't work, I had like a different work ethic. It was more of like, oh, that's good enough. Like
Yeah.
that was me before. But now that I'm actually working out in my field, in my career, I have some experience with like actual working. My work
Mhm.
ethic has definitely switched to more of like, oh, when we work, we're gonna put our 100% in,
Mm.
and then even if it doesn't turn out the way we want to, it's fine. Like you put in your work, you put in 100% into
Mm.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think positive affirmations are really teaching us, a lot of skills in terms of changing our negativity into
Yeah.
positivity. It's showing us ways that we can um, find a way out of the negative thoughts that we might encounter. So,
Mhm.
besides that, though, let's get a little bit more technical, sort of, or like out of the box. How can positive affirmations benefit us? So, besides turning our negativity into positivity, how else can they benefit us? I guess I'll start first.
Mm.
Um, this is something that we might not think of, but positive affirmations can really benefit us in terms of our relationships with people. Sometimes, even within our friends, if we have so many insecurities, it's hard for us to develop like a good and strong relationship, even with our friends. If we constantly feel the need to compare ourselves, even to our friends, to those around us,
Mm.
it can really affect the relationship. Or let's just say work and school. If we are always negative, we're not able to say these positive affirmations so that way we can approach our schoolwork and our assignments in a positive
Mhm.
way, and we're constantly doubting ourselves and our ability to complete whatever tasks we are being given. It can affect our success too. So if
Yeah.
we're not believing in ourselves from the start, how are we going to have the motivation to keep working?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How about you guys? What are some ways that you guys think?
Okay, wait. I'll go next. And I'll slide in my other positive affirmation, which is it'll be okay. Everything will fall into place. Like a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think with positive affirmations, at least it gives me a sense of like normalcy and order. What
Yeah.
I mean by that is every day I get to tell myself something constant that will always make me feel better. Whether that
Mm.
is like the positive affirmations I've told before or whether it's this particular one. Like it's okay. Everything will fall into place. Um at least that's something that it I I am a person that is very prone to change, and
Mm.
which is and I am also a person who is scared of change. So it's tough when things change and I might not be like mentally expecting it.
Mhm.
So the way that I just try to calm myself down, it's a way for me to calm myself down, really,
Yeah.
to like reassure myself that everything will actually be okay. And following on to what Angelica said, it's it affects our relationship with others, not only our perceptions of ourselves, but also how we give positive affirmations to our friends. It helps strengthen bonds and friendships within each other, which I think is like it's also one of those things where you practice what you say.
Yeah.
So if I am confident in reassuring myself of these certain things whenever I'm feeling down, when my friends are feeling a similar way, I can tell them what worked for me, and hopefully it can work with them as well. So like for example,
Yeah.
when at the LG came to us for a little bit of help, I'm happy that that sort of stuck with her, because it could or
Mhm.
it can't. And
Mm.
Yeah.
so I'm just like I'm happy that something stuck to her. So
I
it,
think
it can only benefit us personally, but also
mhm.
other people as well.
I think it
Yeah.
can also help us in terms of choosing our friends. I feel like if you are choosing who you want to be around, you would choose people who are positive, people who can
Mm.
uplift you as well. And so, if you're practicing positive affirmations yourself, that type of energy, that type of mentality is something that you can rub off on other people in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
And then also, like, when we do have these positive affirmations, right, it also reduces our stress levels, even if it's just life in general, or
Yeah.
it's just our everyday stressors. It reduces that. And a lot of what I like what Ate Chloe said is that, like, it truly does benefit other people when you do have a positive outlook in life, and also our positive affirmations when we say them to our friends. It's up to that friend if they want to take that, and then it'll benefit them, right? And like a lot of the positive affirmations, I can definitely say that you guys say every day has definitely rubbed off of me. I definitely take them in, and it gives me a different, like, point of view in the way I see my everyday stressors, or just my everyday life just in
Mm.
general, right? Ikaw naman, Ate Ina.
Yeah. It's generally having a positive energy, like to keep you going. Kasi andyan na yun, will always be changes, negativities na nakapaligid sa atin. Pero with positive affirmations, 'di ba? It's one thing that can um give us the breakthrough that we need. For example, kasi there will be days or there will be situations na parang sa capacity natin, we cannot see ourselves um going through it successfully, 'di ba? Pero
Mm-hmm.
with positive affirmations, one of its many benefits is yung way to reassure yourself na kaya mo, na magagawa mo yung bagay na yun. So yun yung nakikita ko. And
Mhm.
'di ba, parang ano yan eh, nagsi-circle back dun sa positive affirmations na minention natin before. Like yung sinabi ni Ate Chloe na if someone can do it, it's you. and it's
Mm-hmm.
just you and I. So, diba?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Uh, it's reassuring, it's very empowering. Pero, diba, us as members of the Church of Christ, apart from you and I, is of course we always have God's help.
God as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So kapag ka yun yung lagi mong nasa isip, yung positive affirmation mo, and that when it comes to the worst case scenario or whatever, God will always be there to help you. Sobrang laking stress reliever niya. Sobrang laking gaan sa pakiramdam, and
Mm-hmm.
mapapanatag ka talaga. That's what I think na talagang advantages or benefits na makukuha natin sa
Mhm.
positive affirmations.
So, like with what Ina said, like positive affirmations can help us with positive coping. So, it's like
Yeah.
whenever we encounter, if we incorporate positive affirmations, it directs our approach to whatever problem we're experiencing. So, in that
Mm.
case, what are steps that we can take to incorporate positive affirmations in our daily lives?
Mm.
Anyone want to start?
Yeah.
What are ways that we can,
How are we going to
Mm.
yeah,
apply? Mm.
Ina?
Uh,
What do you think,
yeah, you
Ate?
can. Yeah, you go.
I,
No, 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 it's okay. Athena, go.
Okay, paano natin i-apply? So actually, I saw this positive affirmation nung nag-arrange ako ng files and notebooks ko from college, I think. I think college yung busiest and pinaka-productive years of my life talaga. So, three words na nagre-repeat. It's focus, focus, focus. So, yun yung way na I think ma-apply natin yung positive affirmations sa daily lives natin. It's to not lose your focus. Kasi, actually, as we age, minsan yung mga goals natin or yung mga bagay na gusto nating i-achieve, minsan nagbe-blur kasi siya. And then that's the time na minsan na off track tayo sa mga gusto nating gawin, dapat nating gawin, and so on. That's where we need positive affirmations for us to keep on going. So, paano natin siya ma-apply sa daily lives natin? We must not lose focus. Alam ko merong, I'm not sure if it's in Pasugo or any other article or post from INC Media. It's reminding us all not to lose our focus, where we want to go and where we should go. So yun talaga kasi it keeps us going to where we are supposed to go. How about Ate Chloe? Ayan. Anong way mo para ma-apply natin, ma-incorporate natin yung ating positive affirmations into our daily lives?
I'm a big fan of writing things down.
Mm,
So if you see
yes.
like my desk right now, it is full of like sticky notes. A lot of them are like my plans for the semester or like my study plans, ganun ganun. But a lot of them are also quotes. Um, I have quotes scattered around. I think in that way, a tip is just to um find a place where you know you'll always look at. So for example, for me, it's always in front of my computer. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'll always see it there, or maybe for
Mm,
you it can be like the wall that you might face when you're waking up
Mm-hmm.
from in the morning. Things like
mm,
that. You can do that. You can also like what we've always mentioned, you can always just
mm,
look at yourself in the mirror and just say it out loud. Um
mm,
but also I think another thing that I found is post them on your social media. I know like everyone sees me on my social media. I see like you might see me always posting something like every day or every other day that is something positive. That way it keeps not only it shares positive energy to
mm,
other people, but it also keeps me accountable as well in my own way.
yeah.
mm,
That, if I feel so strongly about this, I can share with other people. And then, what if in like 2 years' time, 2 years down the track, they ask how you've been doing? And then I
mm,
can always refer back to those quotes that actually resonated with me a lot.
mm.
So I think that's one of the ways that I do it. How about you at the LJ?
With me naman, like ways that you can incorporate in your daily lives, being persistent with your
Mm.
positive affirmation. Because sometimes, yeah, there are days where we tend to lose track of where our positive affirmation is really going. So I like what Ate Chloe said, how she has it on her desk and she would have it posted everywhere, anywhere that you'll be able to see it. Like
Yeah.
that's a way of you being persistent already. Speaking of mirrors,
How
kanina,
many mirrors
How
do you
many
have
mirrors
at
do
the
you have? Do you
clothes?
um,
remember?
I used to have a mirror behind my door.
Mm.
I had it locked in, but at some point it fell and it just okay. We're not gonna go there, but it broke. Anyways, I used to have it in my door, and obviously, diba, to get in and out of your room, you're gonna have to be looking at the door.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
when I had a mirror there, I always had I had a positive affirmation there saying that always look at the moment. So it's more of, or sorry, stay within the
Oh.
moment or something like that. It was more of a reminder to myself of like, because sometimes I tend to look too far ahead. So it's kind of like
Mm.
biting more than you can swallow. It's kind of
Ah,
like
Yeah.
okay.
that's how I took that positive affirmation. It was more of like yun nga, I always look too far ahead where sometimes I forget that like we need to just be in this moment.
Yeah,
Like
in the here and now.
we can't plan too far or else like
Yeah.
now that you're planning too far and then you get those disappointments where it's like how come it didn't go the way I wanted to.
Yeah.
Right? So I used to have yun nga, a mirror there that always had my positive affirmation. But nowadays, I have a sticky note on my actual laptop. Like it's an in-app in my laptop. It's called Sticky Note. So
Yeah, I use them too.
Yeah, we
instead
have
of
that too.
having to write it down physically,
Mhm.
I just have it there. And then yun nga, saying it out loud, looking at yourself and say it out loud. That's one of the ways where you can stay persistent when it comes
Mhm.
to your positive affirmation. And also I wanted to add there that don't say it as a fact, not as a possibility. So
Mm.
Right.
like when I
Yes.
say I am beautiful, like that's it, I am beautiful.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
it's not like, oh, I'm beautiful, like you're questioning
Or
it.
like, I hope I
Yeah.
can be beautiful.
Yeah, say it
I like
Yeah.
to
as
Yeah.
that.
a fact, like as if
Say it with more
like that is the truth, I
conviction.
am beautiful.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah, so those are sort of the two things that I kind of wanted to share. So be persistent and say your
Mhm.
positive affirmation as a fact,
Mhm.
not as a possibility. There you go.
I love it.
Yeah, for me naman, one positive affirmation that am working on saying more is I love the woman I am now and the woman I am becoming. So especially since
Mm.
I'm young, especially since I'm just in college and there's still so much to figure out in the
Mhm.
future, I want to give
Yeah.
myself the constant reminder that, I'm working towards who I want to be while also loving who I am now. And the
Yeah.
thing with me is that I'm a very visual learner. So for me, saying things verbally, yes, it has its effect, but I feel like for me, full effect would be something that I see. And so something that a way that you can incorporate positive affirmations is like making a vision board. So it's like
Hmm.
so you can see where you want to be and you can also put things on there that you've already achieved so you remind yourself, this is who I am and also this is who I'm planning to be and working on becoming.
Like kind of like a
Exactly.
scrapbooking type of thing, Angelica. Is that what you
It's
mean?
like, well, it is kind of scrapbooking because then you're gonna take pictures
Yeah,
Mm.
that represent like your goals and or maybe something that you've already achieved. So
yeah.
it's something that you visually see and you put together yourself. So
Mhm.
it has more value to you, especially since you're the one putting it and you know like why you put what you put on your vision board.
Mm.
But
It's
to
a
be
really great way to. Oh
yeah,
yeah, keep going.
and the last thing is like to be more technical in terms of like how are we going to use positive affirmations. So when you're looking at your life, you can identify the areas of your life that you want to improve. So what is it that you want to
Mm.
improve about yourself? Is it your confidence? Is it your work ethic? What is it? And then you can set goals towards what you want to improve and then you support those goals with positive affirmations. So that's one way
Yeah.
that can benefit us. What were you saying, Ate Chloe?
Yeah, no, no, no. I think with the whole vision board, that's such a good way to track your own progress as well. Because, like, from your own affirmation, you love the woman that you are and the woman that you are becoming. It means that you are always constantly growing.
Yeah.
And therefore, you know, I always think, in 5 years' time, am I going to be proud of the person that I am now? Or
Mhm.
will I be able to look up, like
Mhm.
look at who I was 5 years ago and still learn from that person?
Mm.
This is just a really great way to, if really all else fails in that time of our lives where nothing seems to reaffirm us or reassure us, we can always just look at the progress that we've made. Because
Yeah.
um I always think, like, it's not that easy to see drastic changes when you're
Mm-mm.
in this moment, but
Mhm.
then when you're actually looking back at it like a time capsule almost,
Yeah.
then we see, oh, I've grown so much. Like,
So
I've actually
yeah.
done so much in a span of 5 years that I didn't think that I could be capable of doing.
Yeah.
You know?
That just
Yeah.
reminded me of like our episode last time about how Christian write letters for himself at the beginning of the year, and then he would give it to a friend, and then at the end of the year he would read how much he's like accomplished within that year. Like he would write the goal,
Uh,
and then at the end of the year read them back. So that I like what at the Chloe said about the whole time capsule thing. Is like, you and also you never know like what 5 years from now holds. And then when you are in that time frame, it's like, whoa,
mm.
I was back there 5 years ago and I couldn't
Yeah.
5 years ago, right? And it's like we have like limitation bars, and every challenges that we take on, that limitation bar just keeps getting higher and higher
Yes.
and higher, right?
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, it goes back to like saying that you'll never know what you'll be like 5 years from now, and you'll never know at that like time point. It's like, oh, I couldn't do this before, and now I could do it, right?
Now that you've mentioned it, yung sinabi ni Ate Chloe kanina, it's a good measure. Yung, 'di ba, sometimes we post on social media on what
Mhm.
we're doing right now. And then there's this feature, 'di ba, that we can view what we've posted, say, years ago or
Yeah.
whatever activity we've had before. And then you go through those posts from before, and then you see, oh, I did this and that, did that. And then sometimes we get surprised na, hala, I actually
Yeah,
did this before.
yeah, yeah.
'Di ba? So it's one thing na magre-remind sa'yo in the future na you were able to do it before.
You're able to
Why
do it.
can't you do it now? Or there's no reason na you
You
cannot
just keep
do what
going.
you were able to do before.
Yeah.
And another thing naalala ko, 'di ba, when it comes to those social media stuff and all, technology has helped us talaga ng malaki
Mhm.
into doing and achieving everything that we have right now. Like, 'di ba, throwback nga eh. If we compare ourselves to who we are and where we are last year March, actually last year March hindi pa tayo magkakakilala, 'di ba? If we
No,
go
That's
it's
back
not.
actually,
crazy.
that's crazy,
It
right?
And it
is.
hasn't even been a year
Yeah.
Almost
we've known
there.
each
But
other.
you
Pero
know
'di
what?
ba?
Sorry,
Mm.
Adelina. Since
Yeah,
like
sure,
it
sure.
hasn't been a year, like I feel like I've already known you guys for more than a year.
Yeah, I feel like
For
we've
longer
known each
than that,
other for
we've
like
all aged
forever.
together.
Yeah, we've been
Yeah.
together, but it's only been a few months
It's
if
only
you
been a
think
few
about
months.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did we start?
Yeah.
May? May
May.
of
We
last
started
year.
May.
We met
May.
each other in
Yeah.
May.
Yeah.
Malapit na.
Yeah.
Malapit na.
Mm. 'Di
Malapit na
ba?
tayo.
Para tayong magkakaklase ng first day of class tas hindi natin kilala yung isa't isa tsaka yung
Yeah.
professor natin.
Yung professor natin ta's
So,
yung may mga nahihiya pa magsalita ta's ngayon
yes.
Tapos si Angelica, dati mahiya.
Like, look at
Mm.
Angelica.
ako
That
palagi
was her.
naka-mute
Tapos
dati,
may
nagpa-unmute
first
lang ako,
may first
nag-unmute lang
impressions pa
ako tapos
tayo ng
ano
isa't
ko,
isa.
Yeah.
So, 'di
Exactly.
ba?
'di
That itself kasi parang unconscious ano na siya, parang
Hmm,
positive affirmation that when you look back at what everything has happened or how everything has rolled out in the past,
mhm,
na, oh, okay, nangyari to and then this and that, and you're
Mhm.
still progressing, 'di ba?
True.
yeah.
So yun.
With that
That's
being
one
said,
thing. Mm,
and like all the progress that we're making, I think from this discussion we've honestly learned so much from each other. So
mm,
let's all just share one positive affirmation that we're going to take away from this discussion,
Oh.
and then we'll
Mine.
move on to our takeaway after that, our Christian
yeah,
takeaway.
yeah, sure.
So mine is yung kay Chloe about going at your own pace. I still do have that problem where I still tend to compare myself to others. It's that's sort of like that's a hard. To me, this one is a hard one to get out of. Like I say,
Mm,
you're surrounded by people every day. You know, you
mm,
have different challenges that you'll see every day, different stressors and stuff like that. So this one is sort of one that I really, really wanna be able to say that I can just go on my own pace. Like
mm,
there's just a lot of pressure
Mm.
sometimes, and also I think it also goes that I'm the oldest in out of three siblings, so sometimes
mm.
being the oldest, I feel like there's just this overbearing pressure,
Pressure.
yeah,
Mm,
that you sort of can't get rid of right away. It's like a time process that you just do, and you just kind of the way you'll like look at life and your own point of view, you just kind of mature in that
mm,
way. So I'm still working on kind of, it's like it's okay if I'm at this pace, or it's okay if I'm at this stage of my life. It doesn't mean that I'm lacking. It's just that,
yeah.
I'm just slow. Like I don't want to say I'm slower than everyone else, but it's just like
You're gonna get there. You're going
yeah,
to
I'm
get
gonna get
there.
there. Exactly. Like
Yes.
I'm gonna get there eventually. It's just not going the way like that I want it to. But
Mm,
that goes back to what Ate was saying about how we just need to trust in God when it comes to those things. That's when it's a reminder. It's God's reminder for us that, oh hey, like I'm also here to help you. That you
yes.
just need to pray sometimes. That you just need to trust everything onto God at that point.
Mm,
Exactly.
So yeah,
exactly.
God.
Ako ano, actually kasi we've discussed this before. Nakapag-share na tayo before personally sa'tin ng mga positive affirmations natin.
Mm,
And then ang pinakatumatak talaga sa'kin, Ate Chloe also said it, right now sa ating podcast, is yung, um, empowering message sa sarili natin, 'di ba, na, if anyone can do it, it's it's me or it's you, telling to yourself, 'di ba? And then Ate LJ said that whatever happens, 'di ba, it's always you and yourself.
yeah.
And then I said kanina na I will be worth it. So one thing na gusto kong i-add as a future positive affirmation is watch me. Uh, two
Oh, I
words.
love this.
Watch me.
Watch
It's
me.
I'm going to
Panoorin
explain
niyo
why.
ako.
Yes,
So
I'm going
empowering.
I'm going to
It is
explain
empowering.
why watch me. Kasi 'di ba, there are lots of times na magda-doubt ka nga sa sarili mo,
Mm,
especially when you get faced with more responsibilities, more expectations from people, 'di ba? Kasi like sa age namin, it's not just about you and your studies and your work. Andiyan na
mhm,
yung other aspects of life and achievements na dapat mong magawa and makamit.
mhm,
Pero yon, watch me, 'di ba? How I do things, how I will do it my own way,
yeah.
how I will lead my life into my own goal. So yun yung future positive
I
affirmation na
love
gusto
that,
kong
That's
Ate.
i-work
so
out.
I love
empowering.
all of her positive affirmations. They're very, very empowering. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Mm,
worth it. Watch
Mhm.
me. Like all of her positive affirmations definitely like very they tie into each other very well. Like it's
Right.
mm,
all in the same like timeline. Yeah.
Yeah.
mm.
I
I
think.
love that.
How about
You want to
Ate
go?
Chloe?
You want me
Mm.
to go? You want to go?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I'll go. Um, I am very bad with change, as I have mentioned before. I
Mm,
I do not react well to it at all. Anyone who
Mhm.
knows me. And so something that I want to build myself up to say every day is that I can embrace any change that comes my way because God is with me. Because
Mm.
I am now at this point where I just I've used up all of my resources to just like and find my own methods and
Mm.
solutions. That I am now in this point of my life where I am experiencing a lot of change. And so what I'll do, I'll just give it to God. I'll be like,
Mm-hmm.
you can take care of this. Because I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
um, there's only so much that we know. You know,
Yeah.
our
And
limited
there's
our
only so much
knowledge
you
is
can do
limited.
sometimes, diba?
Exactly.
Mm.
You know, you try your best to do everything that you can do to react well to these kinds of changes, and then it just doesn't work. And
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you know, with this kind of thing, um I'll quietly hope for God. I'm going to just be hopeful. Um and I know that it'll like I'm one of like I'm a person with a lot of hope. I know that like in the future I'll be in a much better place, and
Mm.
excited for what's
Definitely. Yeah.
and last but not least.
For
Angelica?
me, especially since we've been talking a lot about, these positive affirmations are tailored to you and what you think, how you want
Mm.
to grow and
Yeah.
improve, right? And so I think for me, it's important for me to remind myself that there's only one me. So I will accept me, I will love me, and I will care for me.
No, that's so
Yeah.
cute. That's so cute.
So with that, just valuing yourself, like what Ate said, valuing yourself, finding worth in yourself, and
Mm-hmm.
reminding yourself, like what Ate LJ said too. We always talk about resting and things like that.
Mm.
So caring for ourselves. So valuing ourselves so that we care for ourselves in all aspects, our
Yeah.
overall well-being. And so with
Mm.
that, our episode is actually coming to a close, but before we do so, we are going to introduce our podcast listeners' corner. So, we are going to give recognition to our loyal podcast listeners and also to our top comments from our last episode at the LJ.
Yes. So and again, if you have not watched the other episode, we highly, highly recommend that you do, because we
Yeah.
talked about so many things in that episode that we
Like
believe
eating
that,
the frog,
yeah,
Yeah.
getting our
people
maths
know what eating
wrong.
frog means, and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Like
We
people
give
watch
out
this.
lots of trivia every episode.
Like how many mirrors do Angelica and at the LJ have in their bathroom?
But yeah, so again, if you have not watched that episode, make sure you go check it out, because we believe that everything that we have said, or everything that well, I'll be reading from our comments from last episode, will truly and definitely benefit you in some shape, type, way, or form, right? So for
Mm.
our top commenters, actually, um I have quite a few here that
Mm.
that stuck to us throughout the episode from last time. So Lowell Callowell Newcomb said, one of the habits I'm trying to develop this year is to maintain a to-do list each day. So again,
Mm.
our episode was developing habits for 2023. And Sister Kathleya de Guzman said, I love to hear topics on overcoming fear of trying new things or making changes, skills to be able to adapt to change. And she also
Mm.
gave strategies. She's like, strategies to start a new habit, finding a good reward as the incentive, being surrounded by the right people will help me reach my goals and even level up. And Sister Grace Evangelista, she said, INCRadio podcast, thanks for a great show and topic for today. I'd like to develop the habit of getting more sleep and having more self-care and love.
It's
Um,
us.
so
Yeah.
that was one of the things that she said, and also that we say, that we really promote self-care and self-love, because sometimes you just need it, and
Mm.
get busy
Again,
sometimes.
it's just you and I.
Exactly. At the end of the day, it's just you and yourself. Like, you
Mm.
are your own teammate.
Yes,
So,
yes.
Exactly. And
Chloe, for our
yeah, and apart from Sister Grace Evangelista, we also have some top commenters, such as Brother Jack Beliza and Brother Jeff Fernandez. So thank you so much,
yes, so shout outs
everyone,
to
for
Mm.
them.
commenting and being so active in our live chat. Now, if your name
Yeah.
didn't get called out, maybe this time around, please continue to be active in our live chat. And maybe next episode, where sneak peek will be with the Kuyas, so Jake and Christian. Maybe they'll be able to shout out your names as well. So that's very, very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, just to wrap up our topic a little bit more, as Christians, most importantly, we are members of the Church of Christ, and it's important for us to develop this positive mentality. Of course, we shouldn't just give these positive reminders to ourselves, but we should also use our faith most of all, first and foremost, to influence us to be positive. Now, it's important that we keep our faith in mind whenever we are looking for ways to approach whatever problems we may encounter in life. Because above positive affirmations, it's our faith that truly keeps us motivated and gives us true happiness and hope in this life, like what we talked about, allowing us to be more hopeful, more excited for what's to come. And whenever we end up in a negative situation, which is of course inevitable, even as Christians, as members of the Church of Christ, we always counter that negativity through God. Through
Yeah.
believing, trusting, and relying on what God can do for us.
Ayun. I love that, and I love this episode. And as well, we'll see you next time to our podcast corner.
Yeah.
Sorry, podcast listeners corner. And again, we hope that you enjoyed today's podcast episode and that you all learned something new with us.
Yeah, and we also encourage everyone to keep on making their list of positive affirmations. And please feel free to share them to us through the live chat or via email at podcast at incradio.net. Okay.
Yes.
And yeah, and we will acknowledge more listeners as we go, because it's not that easy to go through our minutes and
So
minutes
many
of
of you.
Yeah, so
yeah.
many.
There is
So
so many.
we're so thankful for everyone who's always listening and going through our entire conversation. Thank you very much.
Yes, and of course, everybody keep being excited because we have plenty more episodes to come, and we hope please continue to stay tuned for our future INCRadio podcast episodes.
Yeah.
And of course, for any feedback, such as comments, questions, or suggestions, please feel free to reach out to us. And again, we'd love to hear from all of you. So please reach out via Gmail at podcast@incradio.net or via Telegram at 0964 243 7380. So that's 0964 243 7380. Because here on INC Radio Podcast,
We're
We're here to hear.
Bye,
Bye, everyone.
all our listeners.
Stay positively affirmed.
Wow.
Bye.
Bye.